Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar session brought to you by Leavey School of Business, Santa Clara University, USA, and Shiksha.com. Student, this is an informative session. The topic for today's session is MBA and MS programs that are being offered by Leavey School of Business at Santa Clara University. Before we move further, I would like to introduce our presenters from the university. So our first our first presenter is Ms. Lenore Grant. She is the Director of Graduate Business Recruitment and Admissions. Our second presenter is Ms. Alex. She is the Assistant Director of Admissions for the MS programs. And our third presenter is Ms. Susan. She is the Senior Business Analyst for Graduate Programs. Student, an important note for all of you, if you wish to ask questions to our presenter, I will request you to please post your questions in the question section. We will take all the questions at the end of the session. And if you wish to ask questions directly to them, please click on the raise hand tab. Shiksha will unmute you and you can ask your questions directly to them. I will now request Lenore to please start with the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, welcome to our presentation. As mentioned, my name is Lenore Grant. I'm the Director of Admissions for Graduate Business Programs at Santa Clara University. And I really appreciate you giving up your time to come and learn a little bit more about our programs. The programs we're going to cover today are all on our campus in Silicon Valley, and they're all STEM certified. So we offer in this category Master of Science programs in Business Analytics, Finance and Analytics, and in Information Systems, and our MBA with its new designation that is STEM certified in Data Science and Business Analytics. Here we all are. You can see it. We'll also hopefully be joined by Shauna Strauss a little bit later in the presentation, who'll talk to us a little bit about our career offerings at Leavey School of Business. So here's just a sort of snapshot of our rankings. These are some of the top rankings that we want to highlight to show you we really are a well-renowned program here in the US. Top ranked in our part-time MBA, executive MBA, online MBA, and in our Masters of Science programs as well. Our Masters of Science programs in general are not ranked generally in the United States. That's something that's growing, but you can see our rankings in our other programs. So our location, in case you don't know where we are, we're in California. We're in the heart of Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is located at about 45 minutes south of San Francisco, right near San Jose. We are close to train stations, airports, lots of transportation. You can see some of the companies that are surrounded our university. These companies are leaders in technology and innovation, and we take advantage of our location here by really tapping into the resources, the expertise, the dynamic innovation happening all around us in these companies. And our professors are incredibly connected with these companies and will be bringing into the classroom for our students guest speakers, real life projects. So we really do take advantage of where we are and try to deliver this expertise to our students in every program. Here are some of the companies that where our students work and where our graduates are employed. As you can see, these are also some of the top companies that you're probably familiar with. I'm going to turn over to Alex, and she's going to talk about our 3 MS programs, and then I will talk about the MBA program and the application process, and we'll get to our career also at the end. So I'm going to turn to you, Alex.
Hello, everyone. As Lenore mentioned, my name is Alex. I'm our Assistant Director of Admissions for our specialized master's programs. And I'm going to start us off today with our MS in Business Analytics. So our MS BA program is really focused on big data and how to effectively use the current technology to harness and analyze that data to improve business outcomes. Your courses are mainly going to focus in on probability, statistics, econometrics, and machine learning. It is a STEM designated program, and it's a 16-month full-time and flexible part-time program. Our schedule is in the evening Saturdays. This is because our undergraduate community is so robust that they take up the physical space during the day. And in order for us to provide the cohort community that is really what makes Santa Clara special, we have the physical space in the evenings. So classes take place from about 5:45 to 9:10, Mondays through Thursdays, and then we generally try and host electives on Saturdays. So I like to say if you're on campus, it's because you want to be there on a Saturday. It's a total of 48 units with the cost of $1,318 per unit. You will have 20 units in core classes, and those will be in marketing, finance, economics, and math. And then you'll have core in programming, which is Python and R, as well as technology core in database management and machine learning. And you'll have up to 12 elective units, or you'll have 12 elective units that you take as well. Some of the classes that we offer, you can see on the screen, are visualization, big data modeling, financial analytics, introduction to fintech, deep learning, and there are many more. You can really dive into what interests you the most. And then all of our full-time students are required to participate in an industry practicum or capstone project.
Can we go on? Okay.
In terms of our career opportunities, about 73% of our graduates are fully employed within 6 months upon their graduation. We don't really separate that into international versus national, it's as a whole. And you can see them where they're employed at companies such as Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Roku, Samsung, Intuitive, probably a lot of names that you know, as well as the smaller companies that exist in the Bay Area. Common roles are data analyst, data engineer, data scientist. We see a lot of that. Business analyst, data architect, machine learning engineer are just to name a few. If you don't see yourself up on that list, it's okay. There will be a spot for you as well. And we can go on to the next. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about our MS in Finance and Analytics. The goal of this program is it's definitely our most streamlined program, and we really want to enable you to pursue a dynamic career in finance. So a lot of our graduates go into corporate finance, investment management, or capital markets. You'd be prepared for any of those. You'll learn how to use the current technologies to do forecasting for possible market scenarios, for budget plans and strategic investments, and you'll build your finance skills and enhance data technology and analytical skills to give you a very well-rounded education and skill set for entering the job market. You can go on to the next one. So our MSFA program is,
Sorry.
All good.
There's a little bit of a delay, so sorry about that.
You're good. Our MSFA program is also a STEM designated degree. This program is 9 and 16 or 16-month full-time and flexible part-time program. Like I said before, evening and Saturday classes for the same reason. Very robust undergraduate community, and we really want to be able to provide you with the cohort style. So when we have that opportunity, it's in the evenings and on Saturdays. This program is a total of 36 units with the cost of $1,318 per unit. And you'll have 20 units of core classes in corporate finance, financial analysis, math for finance and analytics with R, database management systems, econometrics, investments, and data analytics with Python. And then you'll have 16 units in elective classes. So you can pick from business valuation, mergers and acquisitions, real estate and finance and investment, behavioral corporate finance and risk management, financial engineering, intro to fintech, data visualization, big modeling and analytics. And there's a lot of other options, but with our electives, if you're less interested in the analytics side and more interested in the finance side, you can really take it and make it sort of the softer side of things. And if you're more interested in the analytics and really the technological side of finance, you have the ability to really focus in on those as well with those electives. So that's really cool. And then same with our MSFA program, you will be required to participate in an industry practicum or capstone project. So 75% of our graduates are fully employed within 6 months after graduation at companies like Western Digital, Oracle, eHealth, Gusto, and they're in roles such as financial data analyst, FP&A, treasury analyst, audit and analytics, financial analyst, equity research analyst, financial consultant, financial data analyst, and like I said before, If you don't see yourself up on there, don't worry about it. That's what our amazing career team is here to help you do. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about our MS in Information Systems. So our MSIS program is our most technical program, and it really focuses on teaching you to design, build, and manage information systems. It is accredited by the Association for Computing Machinery and the Association for Information Systems. The curriculum is continually updated, as all of our programs are, but it's especially important with such a technologically focused course to reflect the latest advancements in IS technology. And you will get a lot of theory and practical knowledge that will be put to use in your capstone project. So our MSIS program is also a STEM designated program. It's a full-time and flexible part-time program. It is our most flexible, so you won't see the months up on the screen because our MSIS is the program that we have 2 enrollment periods for, whereas the first 2 only have 1. Same as before, evening and Saturday classes so that we can provide you with that cohort style of learning. This is our longest program with a total of 48 units with a cost of $1,198 per unit. You're going to have 16 units of core classes in information systems. So that's going to be object-oriented software design, information systems, analytics and design, systems modeling, and software development life cycles. And you'll have database management and fundamentals of SQL and design, development, and administration, and then a data analytics course. And then you will have your core business classes, which will make up a total of 6 units. So that is going to be your financial and managerial accounting and information systems and strategy management. So bringing that business into the technological side of it. Then you're going to have 16 units of elective classes. So there's web programming, artificial intelligence, mobile and web development for business computer forensics, visualization, natural language processing, mobile payment. And then we also, for this program, have tracks. So if you're not sure and having a wide variety of electives is a little overwhelming, you can choose to go on a track for analytics, data science, enterprise, mobile or web development, or computer security. There's absolutely no need to follow a track, but if that makes it easier for you and helps direct your learning, there are those options available. And then all full-time and part-time students are going to be required to participate in an industry practicum or capstone project as well. So 90% of our graduates are fully employed within 6 months upon graduation. Same thing, you see a lot of the big name companies we recognize: Amazon, LinkedIn, Facebook, PG&E, McAfee, Walmart, and they go into roles such as data analyst, business intelligence analyst, data engineers, database developer, product manager, product engineer, IT business analyst. A lot of those names may seem a little bit familiar to the business analytics side, but like I said in the intro to the MSIS program, this is our most technologically focused course, so you'll have more of the skills to design, build, and manage these systems.
Thanks, Alex. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our MBA, our STEM MBA, focusing on data science and business analytics. So our MBA program was recently redesigned. We did a complete overhaul of the program, and we really took a look at what are the best practices that we have here in Silicon Valley. We spoke with industry leaders and asked them what they were looking for when they hired an MBA graduate. And these are the things that we came up with. So we provide students now a required skill set in business analytics, which is something that not every MBA program does. We want to make sure students graduate with the skill set to understand and lead teams who are using analytics to drive their business decisions. We shortened our program. It's now able to be completed in 2 years in a part-time program. Even though it's an evening program and we talk about it as a part-time program, it's still considered a full-time program for international students studying on an F1 visa. We are bringing, as I mentioned earlier, we bring Silicon Valley into the classroom. There's a lot of co-teaching. We bring in Silicon Valley executives to co-teach our classes with our professors. So you're really getting the latest and greatest information that is out there. we can focus our core requirements to really expand the electives that students are allowed to take. So if you are interested in finance, or you're interested in analytics, or you're interested in marketing, you can really take a deep dive into those areas in your electives. So now of the 70 units, 28 are electives. And another unique thing that Santa Clara offers, which not very many other MBA programs do, is that we kickstart the program with an MBA intensive. It's a leadership and leading teams intensive course. It actually happens right before the program starts. It's a weekend course, three or 4 days, and you really can bond with your cohort, get to know each other really well, know yourself and where you are as a leader, and set the tone for the rest of your MBA program so that you can grow in your leadership skills. One of the things we did hear from the Silicon Valley when we were redesigning our program is the need for really strong leaders, people who are able to lead teams into the next level. And so that is what we make sure our students do when they graduate. We also have an executive speaker and Silicon Valley component, as I mentioned, in addition to what you have in your courses. So as I mentioned, it's a STEM degree program. You can too, so when I say full-time, part-time, it's the same program. You can take it as at your own pace, similar to our information systems masters. So if you finish the program in 2 years, you're going to be taking 2 classes at a time, twice a week. You can certainly beef that up. You can take as many classes as you want and finish the program more quickly. Often I get questions about how quickly can I finish the program. I would say you could finish it in 18 months if you took more classes than the curriculum path looks at, but it's really, really flexible. The unit price is $11.98 per unit, comes out to about $85,000 for the whole thing. Our core classes cover all the basic business fundamentals. So an MBA is a general business degree. So you're going to learn marketing, you're going to learn about business analytics, you're going to learn about economics, finance, accounting, and then you're going to be able to choose, as I mentioned, electives. Here are some of the ones that we offer: game theory, data science, analysis. These are some of the more technical classes. Now, I mentioned that there's 36 units of electives. To do the data science and business analytics concentration, you're going to need to take 12 units in the data science and business analytics curriculum. That means you still have 14 units to take outside of this concentration, meaning you can also take electives in marketing and in finance and in innovation. So lots of things to choose from. Our graduates, 92% are employed within 6 months of graduation. And again, a lot of the same companies you've seen on the other slides. These companies love hiring our students. We have a very, very good reputation in our MBA program and on all of our degrees at Santa Clara University. Santa Clara has an incredible alumni network. Many of our graduates live and work in Silicon Valley, and these are your classmates. Ours being an evening program, these are students who are working at these companies in the day and coming to class at night. So not only are you learning from the professors, but you're learning from the other students in the class, sharing their expertise, what they're doing at their companies. So it's an incredible way to expand your network, both in the classroom and with our alumni. There are more alumni from Santa Clara University working in Silicon Valley than from any other school. So if you want to come and work in Silicon Valley, there's really no better place than Santa Clara University. Here are some of the jobs that our students get, but really, it's limitless on the kind of role that you could get. Any company having an MBA will empower you to be very competitive in the marketplace. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the admissions process. So we use a common application called Business CAS, and this is designed to make it easy for students applying to more than one business school. Business CAS will ask you to upload your resume, and your transcripts can be ordered through Business CAS. I'll talk to you a little bit more about transcripts later on. And then we ask you to, you fill out all your information. This you only have to do it one time if you're applying to more than one Business CAS institution. There's a $48 application fee, and then we do require a 4 years bachelor's degree from accredited college or university. GMAT and GRE scores are required. However, we are offering waivers under certain situations. We have a waiver form. Maybe Susan can pop that into the chat. If you are interested in applying for a waiver, the main thing we're looking for the programs are quantitative aptitude. So if you have a strong quantitative background, you may be waived the GMAT, and each program has a little bit of a different criteria for that. Our MS programs are much more quantitative in nature, so we are going to look for more depth in your quantitative experience, whereas the MBA is a little bit less in quantitative nature, so we may look for maybe not quite as stringent criteria. If you received your undergraduate degree from outside the US, you need to submit a course-by-course evaluation. We accept evaluations from any NACIS company. The most popular one we use is WES, but we take them from any NACIS evaluation. This evaluation needs to say that your degree is equivalent to a US bachelor's. So that's something that's very important. We can, in some cases, review your application without the evaluation, but it is required for admission. We need a current resume, and we need 2 letters of recommendation. For your letters of recommendation, we would like to see your recommenders be someone with whom you've worked closely, preferably a supervisor, but it could also be a colleague, or if you run your own business, maybe a client. And then our personal statement. Our personal statement has 3 parts. And in the personal statement, we're going to ask you to tell us where you are in your career and what has inspired you to want to earn an MBA. Where do you see the MBA taking your career in the next 5 to 10 years? We want to know why you want to come to Santa Clara. What about our programs? What about our institution inspired you and drew you to want to apply to our school in particular, or our program in particular? And then we want to know, how are you going to contribute to our community? Santa Clara is a very tight-knit community. As I mentioned, students are sharing their ideas, their background, their expertise in the classroom. We want to know how you're going to contribute to that community, either with a skill set or perspective, or something that you're going to be bringing into the classroom or into our program that is going to enhance that program and make it better for everyone. And then we interview all of our qualified applicants. Once your application is submitted and complete, we'll reach out to you for your admissions interview. We also require a TOEFL, Duolingo, or IELTS score for applicants for whom English is not their first language. And scholarships. Our scholarships are merit-based. So this is one way that you might want to really think about submitting that GMAT score instead of asking for a waiver. If you have a nice GMAT score, you're going to be seeing scholarship. We don't give very many scholarships out for students who do not have a GMAT or GRE score. You can see the deadlines here, April 1st for scholarship consideration for most programs, for our fall programs. May 1st is our final deadline for our MS programs, and June 1st for MBA programs. This is all on our website. I know it can be confusing. Winter for MSIS is October 15th for all scholarship and final deadline. All right, tuition, and we have the deadlines again in case you missed on the last slide. So our tuition we mentioned on each of our individual program slides, but for our MS MBA and MS program is $13.18 per unit for 48 units. For MBA and MSIS, it's $11.98, 48 units for MSIS and 70 for MBA. And here you can sort of see another snapshot of our deadlines. Pretty much if you get your application for fall in by April 1st, you'll be in great shape. All right, Shauna, are you here with us today? I don't think she is able to join us. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our career resources. Shauna Strauss often joins us. She is works with our students for many of our on-campus programming and many of our events that we put on. So our career team is a very, very strong team of four of our colleagues, who work very close with our students, and their goal is to empower our students for lifelong career mobility. We offer incredible resources for our students in the form of workshops that will help you, make your resume shine, really put a polish on your LinkedIn profile, help you with your interviews. We do mock interviews, presentation skills. And so those are ways that we help you improve your sort of marketability. But then we also offer programming that often they're alums or other local professionals that will come to campus to give presentations on things like transitioning from engineering into project management, talking about AI and marketing. So there's a lot of different topics that we bring professionals on campus to talk to our students, so you can really see get a snapshot of what it would be like to be in that career or maybe transition into that career. We also bring students out to local companies on career treks. So we'll take a group of 20 to 25 students to local companies. We do about 3 of those per quarter. So you will travel with our staff out to these companies, meet their hiring manager, learn about their culture, see what kind of roles they're hiring. So it's a great way to sort of get around and see what different companies are like and where you might see yourself working someday. We also bring companies on campus so that you can sit in a classroom and hear from these HR professionals at these different companies. We've had Tesla, we've had Intel. You know, you've seen all the pictures of the companies that we work closely with. So it's a great way, again, to learn about different companies. We have a career fair in the fall where we bring companies on campus who are interested specifically in hiring our students. And then we also connect students with jobs that are available. So we use a platform called Handshake, which you may be familiar with, but we also have an exclusive list. They call it the hot jobs list. And this is a list of jobs that companies reach out specifically to Santa Clara because they want to hire our students. And these are jobs you won't find on LinkedIn or Glassdoor or anywhere else. You're only going to see these jobs on our SCU hot jobs list that people are interested in hiring our graduate students. So that's a snapshot of our career resources. It's definitely something you want to take. Oh, also one-on-one coaching. We have outside coaches that come on campus. You can make an appointment, as many as you'd like, to have one-on-one career coaching, and that is also included as part of the resources that we offer our students. Here are our contact information. We encourage you to reach out to us. We can schedule one-on-one advising appointment with you. If you're interested in MS programs, please contact Alex. If you're interested in the MBA program, please contact me. And then we can also connect you with anyone else that you might be interested in speaking with. We can connect with professors, we can connect you with students, alumni. So just let us know how we can help you during this journey towards earning your graduate degree. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Lenore and Alex, for the wonderful presentation. And students, we are now taking questions. So I will request you, if you want to ask questions, you can post your questions in the question section. Or if you wish to ask questions directly to them, please click on the raise hand tab. I will unmute you and you can ask your questions to them. So I'm going to start with the live questions first. So the first student I'm going to unmute is Shanawaz Sheikh. Shanawaz, please unmute yourself and ask.
Hey, hi, Grant. Good morning.
Hi.
Hey, I have a question because see, I am a senior professional. I am working as a service delivery manager in one of the IT companies. So my question is here now, after 12 years, I am kind of deciding to take up an MBA. So do you think that is there any age restrictions, or will that be a useful program for me to come up and take? And if, as you said, through the MBA programs, there are programs which kind of goes through the weekend classes. So can I simultaneously take the classes and work, or till I complete my program, do I need to wait to start working? How's
So yes, the average years of work experience in the MBA program is 8 to 9 years. So having 12 years of work experience puts you right in the, maybe a little bit over the average, but we have students, that's an average. So we have students that range from 3 years of work experience to 20 years of work experience in our evening MBA program. So definitely, I think that would be a great fit for you. We want students to have that experience because it really, enhances the program, obviously for yourself because you have that experience, but also for the other students in the class. Some students who have more work experience choose the evening MBA program because they want to work with younger professionals to hear what their ideas are and to mentor them. So it's a great opportunity to sort of round out your career with an MBA. So absolutely, if you're coming on an F1 visa, I do believe that you are able to work after the first 3 quarters in the program. If you have a different visa, if you're coming on a work visa, then absolutely you can work while you're in the program. We have many students who are on H-1B visas who come to our program in the evening. So it kind of depends on the visa situation about the work.
okay? So if I come in F1 program, so for the first 3 quarters, I wouldn't be able to work. That's what it means, right?
Right.
Okay, not even part-time work or anything.
I believe you can work on an on-campus job,
Okay.
but I don't think you necessarily want to do that. So it would be a chance where you could probably get ahead in the program. You could take extra classes, but then at the end of the third quarter, then you're able to start working.
Okay. Well, so age wouldn't be a constraint because I'm right now around 39. So I think age shouldn't be a problem then.
Right. Yeah. So
Okay.
there's other, like I said, there's a lot of students that come on, on H-1B if they're working at a company in Silicon Valley or an international company, and then they're able to continue to work.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much, Shanvaz. Moving to next student, I'm going to unmute Ajay Sivach. Ajay, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
I have a question. Like, I am currently here in US, in Santa Clara County.
Ajay, please ask your question.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
I want to ask, currently I'm in US in Santa Clara County. I'm here on H4 visa, and I'm looking for my study options. I have a bachelor degree in India, like hotel management, and is that possible for me, to do MS in data analytics?
You said you're here on an H4, and then I didn't
Yeah.
hear the second part. Was it about your degree?
I have done hotel management in India, and I want to pursue the data analytics.
So you do have a bachelor's degree?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, it's hard to come across. Yes, you would be able to do the MS program. If you're on an H4, I think there's limits about work. Some of our students on H4 do choose to go on F1 just because it gives you more flexibility with work, and also the extended OPT being a STEM Business A program. So it sort of depends on what you want to do with that. But yes, you can H4 or you can also apply for F1, and you can even transfer to F1 while you're in the program. But often it's easier to start on the F1, but you do need to travel back to your home country to get your visa. So, but our international students and scholars office can work with you on what would be the best course of action. But if you're thinking about fall of 2022, you have plenty of time to think about that. And even if you apply early, there may be time to transition from H4 to F1 without heading home. It just is a much longer process.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, Ajay, for your question. Moving to next student, I am going to unmute Ronak Kumar Das. Ronak, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
So, am I audible right now?
Yes.
Hi, Grant. I'm actually pursuing bachelor's in commerce right now in India, and in the next 4 to 5 months, my bachelor's is gonna get over. But I just read somewhere, in previous presentations from yours, that it's like required a 4 years bachelor's degree from India. So, over here in India, the bachelor's in commerce degree is actually a 3 years program. So, do you think it will be like a concern afterwards?
So I would recommend getting your degree evaluated by Wes, or Spantran is another one that we work with ahead of time. Some bachelor's in commerce degrees do end up being equivalent to a US bachelor's, but it depends on a lot of things. And I'm not 100% sure exactly. I couldn't tell you exactly what they are, but I know it has to do with the specific university from which you graduate, and the level from how your grades are when you graduate. So if there are certain stipulations are met, it may be equivalent to a US bachelor's, but I can't tell you. You'd have to have it evaluated. The other option is to get get another degree. I think if you do another year, you definitely would have it equivalent. But it depends on your university and your level when you graduate.
So I can add just a little bit to that, Lenore. So in India, each university has what they call a grade level. So depending on the university, it's level A, B, C, and then depending on the major, it also is included in that. So as Lenore said, yes, it really does depend on the university and the level of the university. So that's how they determine it. So again, you know, somebody in commerce can go to a university in India where it's not considered, and it has everything to do with the grade level of the institution.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ronak, for your question. Moving to next student, I am going to unmute Sai Charan Nagaberu. Sai, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, you're
Am I
audible.
audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah,
Please
ma'am.
ask your
Thank you.
question.
Ma'am, present I am pursuing my MBA program in India. MS MBA in finance. My specialization is finance. But I want to pursue MS in finance and business analytics, ma'am. Can I eligible for that?
So are you asking in terms of from the degree you have?
Sorry.
So you're eligible to apply as long as you have the equivalent of a 4-year bachelor's degree and business more was paid before. You'll need to have it evaluated or span transfer with to determine if it's the equivalent.
Okay. After bachelor's degree, Indian MBA is not eligible.
No, you need undergraduate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Program. I guess hearing an echo.
Yeah, I was hearing it too. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Just a minute. Okay, I'll move on to the next student now. So the next student I'm going to unmute is Umar Chaudhary. Umar, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Yeah, so my question is basically, I am currently working in my family business. So I've already done my MBA in finance, but I want to take my business a step ahead. So I just wanted to ask, like, what would be a better option for me to pursue? Rather, should I do an MBA in business analytics or should I do an MS in business analytics? So that is a question, and where if I can get a year or two experience and come back and help my business grow.
Sure.
So
I would say
yeah.
as someone who running their own business, the MBA would be give you a better overview of how all the different aspects of business, finance, marketing, accounting work together. But we would have to take a look at if you already have an MBA, we'd have to look at your transcripts to make sure that doesn't overlap too much with what we are teaching versus what you've already learned. Generally, if someone has an MBA, they aren't eligible to earn a second MBA unless your MBA is more similar to like a Master's of Science in Finance. So I would welcome you to send us your transcripts and we could have those taken a look at and let you know. In most cases, if it's a more specialized MBA, it would be, you would be open to apply to the MBA program.
Okay. So basically, I have to first get my the grade sheets and all. I have to send it across and see if I'm eligible or not for that, right?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, is it an MBA in finance or is it a Master's of Science in Finance?
I've done an MBA in finance. Finance was major, So I want to know, like, what would be a more where I will be eligible for your college? Should I do an MBA in business analytics or MS in business analytics? So
Yes,
that is my question.
we'd have to look at your transcripts. If it was determined that the MBA that you already earned the MBA was very similar to our MBA, then we would probably encourage you to apply to the Masters of Science in Business Analytics. But my guess is that we would be able to have you do whichever one you wanted. But again, our director would need to look at your transcripts just to be sure that you weren't going to be repeating a lot of the same curriculum.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Umar, for your question. Moving to the next student, I'm going to unmute Hikmatullah Khan. Hikmatullah, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, Hikmatullah from Afghanistan. Thank you so much from Professor Leonard and Alex. As you know better, the current situation of the Afghanistan, there is a political situations in Afghanistan. They are not allowing us to continue our business, my study. So I lost my hopes for the higher studies. So I'm graduated from the BSc Economics from the Kardani University. I have done in 2016 my BSc Economic, and I'm also I've worked with the Ministry of Finance from the last
I think we lost him.
Yeah, maybe you can maybe you can type your question in the chat. We lost your audio there.
Can you, I will request you, because there's some connectivity issue. Can you please post your question in the chat box? I will read out your question to the presenters. Meanwhile, I'll move to the next student. I'm going to unmute Kunal Taneja. Kunal, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, a very good evening, ma'am. Am I audible?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, my question is, currently I'm pursuing my graduation, Bachelors of Commerce, final year from Punjabi University, Patiala. And I'm planning to do masters. What are the master options for 3-year bachelor degree?
So you will need to make sure that you have the equivalent of a 4-year US bachelor's degree. It really depends, as Susan was kind of talking about earlier, on the grade of your school and how that correlates. But you can use WES or SpanTran to sort of get an early evaluation as to whether or not you do have the equivalent of a 4-year US bachelor's degree. And as long as you have the equivalent of that degree, you're eligible to apply for any of our programs.
Yes, so if you're going to pursue a post-grad master's in India to get to equivalent of a US bachelor's, I would think that Shiksha could advise you on that. Individual universities don't necessarily give advice on what degree you should be earning. So that's not something that we're experts in. So I would recommend partnering with an educational partner that could help you make the best plan, because you do definitely, I mean, it's excellent that you're thinking about that right now as you're about to graduate with your degree in commerce, and thinking about what masters will get you to that equivalent to a US bachelor. So I'm sure there's resources there that can help you with that. Is that correct?
Let me just add that there's one more avenue that you can take. It's not official, but wes.org has what they call an equivalency tool on their website. So they will ask you a few different questions: the institution you attended, the year you graduated, the major that you pursued, and a few other basic questions. And they will give you, they'll sort of on the fly give you an equivalency determination.
Ma'am.
It'll say either yes or no, it's not the equivalent. So you can try it out. Again, it's not official, but it gives you at least a sort of a jump start to determine whether or not your 3-year degree is the equivalent of a US bachelor's degree. I also put that link in the chat box for the WES equivalency tool. So if anybody wants to
Okay, ma'am.
try it out, you can just go to the chat box and it'll be in there.
Yes. Ma'am, one more question. Ma'am, I'm planning to give GRE or GMAT exam. So how may I start preparation for this exam?
So GMAT have many tools on their website. There's free practice tests, free study guides. I'm not as familiar. GRE has the same. I'm sure there are test prep centers that you can take advantage of. There's a lot of online resources, and then a lot of students do invest in paid prep, but it's really up to the individual student. But there's plenty of free resources on the GMAT website that you can take advantage of.
Okay. And ma'am, can you please tell me the difference between post-baccalaureate diploma and postgraduate diploma? Hello, am I
Susan,
audible?
do you have any knowledge on that one?
Can you
Sorry,
repeat
am I
that
audible?
question? Yeah, can
Yeah,
you
sure,
repeat that question?
sure. What's the difference between post-baccalaureate diploma and postgraduate diploma?
So again, it's going to really depend on the institution. So as far as the foreign evaluations are concerned, post-bac and post and graduate work are considered somewhat the same, but sometimes, again, depending on the institution, it could or could not be the equivalent. Yeah. So usually the postgraduates, at least from what I've seen, are considered the equivalent. Some post-bacs, depending on the number of units and the area that you took, may not. So kind of take that into consideration if you're looking at post courses, whether post-bac or just postgraduate.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Kunal, for your question. I'll move to next student. I'm going to unmute Surbhi. Surbhi, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, ma'am. Yes, my question is that currently I'm pursuing BBA. So am I eligible? Actually, it is a 3-year course, bachelor degree. So am I eligible for doing MBA from your college, university?
In general, most universities in the US require a equivalent of a bachelor's degree. You'll need to get your degree evaluated. As Susan just mentioned, you can go onto WES, the WES website, and you can plug in your degree information and it will give you an idea of whether or not your degree will be equivalent. But I recommend having it evaluated by WES or Spantran, and then you'll get the answer that you need. We at Santa Clara University we don't perform degree evaluations. We rely on the experts to do that. Oftentimes the 3-year degree in commerce is not equivalent and you need to do a master's year afterwards. But again, these questions are not ones that we're experts in.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Surbhi. Moving to next student, I'm going to unmute Indrayani Yadav. Indrayani, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Indrayani, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, I guess some connectivity issue. I'll move to next student. I'm going to unmute Renu Kumari. Renu, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have completed my Bachelor of Commerce in India and in 2018, and I'm currently working as accounts payable. So now I'm interested to do MS Finance. So how much score we require for the Duolingo?
So for Duolingo, we look for a 120 score, a score of 120.
Okay. And GMAT and GRE is compulsory?
It is required. We do offer a waiver in certain circumstances. I believe that the link for the waiver is in the chat. If you are interested in any scholarship money, you will need a GMAT or GRE score to be eligible for our merit-based scholarships.
Okay. And when is the last date for the admission deadline?
Our final deadline is May 1st for the MSFA program.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Renu. Next student I'm going to unmute is Vishal Puri. Vishal, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Vishal,
Can you
please
hear
ask
me?
your question. Yes.
Okay. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Actually, I have completed my graduation in Bachelor of Arts. Okay, and now I'm searching for the MBA in the USA. Can you suggest me the best college for me?
The best college for
MBA.
MBA.
MBA? Well, Santa Clara University would be the best college for you.
Okay. What is the eligibility for the masters?
Pardon?
What is the eligibility for the masters?
So we require equivalence of a bachelor's degree. We require GMAT or GRE scores, which are you can have them waived if you fill out the form. And you have a quantitative degree and some work experience. The form is in the link, and the link to the form is in the chat. And then as far as our application requirements, require 2 letters of recommendation, personal statement, resume, set transcript evaluation. The English language equivalency, which can be also waived with a GMAT or GRE score that has the verbal above 50%. So those are the general application requirements, and maybe if there's something I'm missing in your question.
Actually, I got 6 overall band in Indian English language testing system, IELTS in IELTS. I got 6 overall.
Okay.
Then
so we look
is
at
it
every
fine for me?
application holistically. So we're going to look at all the things that are in the application. So we don't have any sort of strong yes or no on that. We're going to look at your scores. We're going to look at your personal statement. We're going to look at work experience, and then a lot will, as far as the English language for the MBA program, we will also consider the interview in evaluating that.
Actually, I don't know about the GMAT or GRE test. What is the? Can you explain me?
I'm sorry. One more time.
You talked about the GMAT or GRE test.
Yes. So those are standardized admission tests that students can take.
Okay. It's compulsory for the MBA program?
So it is required. We offer waivers. The waiver application is in the chat. In the waiver application, we're going to ask for your resume and transcripts. We're going to look at quantitative aptitude. So if you have a technical degree in computer science or hard sciences, or even some business degrees, and we can see that you've taken quantitative courses in your undergrad, then that would be what we would look at to waive the GMAT or GRE.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vishal. I'll take few questions from the chat now before we end the session. So, Lenore and Alex, there are a lot of common questions regarding the scholarship opportunities that the university would provide to the students. So, if you can just give a brief about the scholarships, maybe that will help.
Sure. So for we have it's a little bit different for each program, but for the MBA program, we consider all applicants for scholarship at the time of admission. For the MBA program, we look at GMAT and GRE scores. We look at if you have a master's degree. We also look at work experience. So those are the things we consider. Our scholarships range for the MBA program from about $3,000 to $20,000, depending on if you have a strong score or if you have a lot of work experience. Our higher scholarships are going to go to students that have the strong GMAT, GRE scores. Our smaller scholarships may go to someone who works in the nonprofit sector or who has extensive work experience. For MS programs, I'm going to let Alex talk about that.
For sure. For our MS programs, we require that you have a valid GMAT or GRE score to be considered for any merit-based scholarship. Same with MBA. It's decided upon at the time of admission what your scholarship will be. If you have a score, we do take a holistic approach in terms of determining what amount of scholarship to provide to students. We look at work experience, GPA, GMAT, GRE. If your score is higher, the more scholarship you're likely to get. But on average, our scholarships only range between $3,000 to $5,000 in total.
Okay. Moving to the last question now. Just a minute. Okay, this question is regarding the English proficiency test. Again, a lot of 2-3 questions that if for the English proficiency, which exam is, preferable by the university, IELTS, TOEFL, or Duolingo will be also accepted?
So for the English proficiency tests, we don't have a preference in terms of which one students choose. It's really up to access and cost and what a student prefers. We accept all three.
Okay. I think we are done with the maximum of the questions. I'm just checking if there is some question that we have missed on and would like to ask. Okay, this is again, 2 students have asked this question regarding the work experience. So how much does the work experience being weighted when the student is applying for the master's program?
For our MS programs, there is no work experience required. We have students that come in directly from undergrad with potentially no work experience or just a couple of internships. And we also have students come in with sometimes 6 to 8 years, but we don't really have a minimum. We'll look at it. It can always add to your application, but not having won't necessarily detract from your application because it is not required.
For the MBA program, we like to see at least 3 years of work experience, but we do consider applications from students who have less than 3 years of work experience. It will look at strength of internships, volunteer work, leadership opportunities that the student has engaged in. And there's a range, like I had mentioned before, in the MBA program from 3 years to 20 years of work experience. Our average is 8 years of work experience for the evening MBA program. So we'd like to see at least 3 years, but we do, again, look at it holistically.
Okay, I think we have covered a maximum of the questions, and I would like to thank both Lenore, Alex, and Susan also for joining us today and doing this wonderful presentation for the students. And I hope that student also must have. I'm sure that student must have found this session very interesting and informative. So, student, in case if we have missed questions from the chat, don't worry, your details will be shared with the university representative along with your questions. Plus, the Shiksha counseling team will also be there to contact you in case you have questions regarding admissions applications or the processes, scholarships. they will be able to help you with that. Still, if you want to get in touch with the university representative, you can see their details on the on your screen. And further, if you want to still get in touch with them and talk to them, you can let the Shiksha counseling team know about this, and they will be able to help you. So with this, I would now end this session, and I would like to thank Lenore, Alex, and Susan for doing the presentation today. And I hope that you also enjoyed interacting with the students. And before we end, if Lenore or Alex, you would like to share something with the student that can really help them in giving them some guidance in terms of applying to universities abroad.
Yes, thank you again for joining us today. It's a wonderful place for students from all over the country to come and learn business. As I mentioned, we have a very diverse student body. We have students from, like I said, all sorts of backgrounds. Many students are international students who come to the US to study, and many of our students come from other countries. They're here already working and coming to the MBA program in the evening. You will expand your network tremendously within the program, meeting students who are working here in Silicon Valley. You will meet professors with deep connections in Silicon Valley and be exposed to industry leaders sharing their thoughts with our students. It's a great time to learn business. I know there's a lot of uncertainty out there right now with the pandemic, but here at Santa Clara University, we are teaching classes in person. Our professors are dedicated to making sure that our students are getting engaged and connected. So it's a great time to apply. Our deadline is a few months away, so you have plenty of time to get your application in for fall and be considered for admission. We do admit on a rolling basis, so the earlier you apply, the earlier you receive your decision. It's always good to apply early, that way you have plenty of time to make your plans for coming to the US. Anything else to add, Alex?
I'd say that's it. If you need some extra support, we're here. I'm happy to answer any questions. You can send us an email. You can schedule advising with us. We want to help you, and we want to help you get to your goals.
Thank you both of you. And with this, I now end the session. So everyone, Lenore, Susan, and Alex, you have a great day ahead. And to all the attendees, I hope that you have a great evening ahead. So thank you so much. Take care, everyone, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.